Hey, everybody. Good morning. Welcome. Welcome, folks. Let's put the Amazon link and stuff here in the comment box. There you go. So, yeah, welcome, everybody. Quick update here because the last 24 hours have been a little bit wild for sure. You probably saw the press release that went out yesterday that we put out. Really grateful for the response and for all the new people finding the Inner Signal booklet on Fulcrum's website and over on Amazon. The whole idea of that guide was to give people a clear starting point for building and understanding local AI, a map for this early terrain. And the link in description has those books if you haven't downloaded them yet. They take maybe 30 minutes to read, and you can be installing your own AI the same day. In fact, very good chance you'll have it set up the same day. So since then, the landscape has evolved very quickly. Larger local models like Safeguard from OpenAI, GPT Safeguard, and the Orpheus builds that we're working on locally. This stuff has arrived, but the good news is that everything you learned in that first booklet still applies. It's still your starter map. How to run your own AI on Amazon is still, again, the place to start. You just download the newer models through LM Studio or whatever interface you're using now. So you read that booklet, but instead of downloading one of the older models that we reviewed in the booklet, the first one to download is GPT Safeguard. If you have an older computer, go for the 20 billion parameter one. If you have a newer desktop or higher end laptop, you definitely want to go for the 120 billion version. So again, it's GPT Safeguard 120B is what you'll see on LM Studio when you search for it. And that's the one you want if your hardware can handle it, because that's the one that many people say feels like GPT-5, but just locally stored, which is incredible. It's incredible that a nearly 60 gigabyte file is enough to compress the core weights that make up GPT-5's intelligence. It's absolutely incredible. But that's where we're at technologically. This stuff has been much faster than crypto. In the Bitcoin days, Satoshi would interact with people on the Bitcoin Talk forums that would answer people's questions about the protocol. But it wasn't as if he just checked in and would say, "Hey, read everybody's comments. Here's a new version of Bitcoin. Enjoy. We changed the coin economics a little bit and some other stuff for you guys. Enjoy." There wasn't a constant iterative cycle like there is now with AI. Nothing has been faster in computer science. It's faster in the build out of the internet because it's the machines themselves self-improving at this point. And that's not science fiction. That's actually what these research papers are starting to show in no uncertain terms. And speaking of research papers, this will blow your mind. Let's see here. It's screenshotted somewhere. So 30 years ago, someone came out with an academic paper that was basically modern LLMs, basically modern day AI. In 1992, someone wrote the paper, and the only thing missing was basically, some of the hardware. They didn't have GPUs yet that could actually handle this. So they were missing the hardware, and they were missing the why. Right, this is at a time when people were like excited they could barely send emails or spin up HTML websites. They were excited by simple text websites. They didn't get the impact of this. But again, the guts of modern day AI, even the key values were called from and to. They had it almost all figured out at a rudimentary level and just never gave it the proper hardware. And of course, it would have been kind of impossible to do this in 92 or 93. Just weird, though. Just weird how arbitrary certain tech advancements are. Not handed down from above, just kind of, whatever happens to be the prevailing push of the day. And they just weren't thinking about AI in the early 90s. So, again, the landscape is evolving fast. I've never seen anything faster. And to go back to the Bitcoin analogy, at first, Bitcoin used legacy hardware, right? You could mine for Bitcoin on your existing computer. And then over time, they developed chips just for mining, ASIC chips and stuff. And that's where you got the mining data centers and the loud, all these loud Bitcoin mining cards with the fans and the liquid cooled stuff. But that all came later. Bitcoin was a fully developed concept before the hardware for it. And that's very close to AI, right? First, AI is running on data centers, even though the data centers aren't really designed for that. And then it's running on high-end GPU cards locally, basically brute force or brute strength mathematics. Very good at basic matrices, but not good at kind of associative data, right? So we're using the legacy chips for AI, but soon comes the AI native chips, APUs, associative processing units, are the GPU designed for AI, basically. Instead of being good at running different tables, it's actually good at associating different pieces of data, which is much more along the lines of how an AI actually thinks. So just like Bitcoin, first the software comes out, and then when enough people are using it, comes the need for all new hardware. And I believe we're there. I'm actually invested in a company that's building these associative processing units or APUs. And Cornell came out with a little research paper on them, on their APU. And apparently it's up to 98% more energy efficient than GPUs at running the same AI models. And as I've joked before, if I could sell you an iPhone for 98% less, or if I could sell you a cheeseburger or a pizza for 98% less than literally everybody else's input cost, would that be a good position for me to be in? Yeah, we're just in an incredible phase right now where the technology is bootstrapping itself, and it's faster than anything else. Again, this is 10 times faster than Bitcoin uh, or Ethereum. So this morning, I figured we'd take a few minutes, talk about what's changed, what hasn't, and how to keep your own setups current. If you're already doing local AI, how to set set yourself up so that you have something that can be a companion for years to come, and then won't be yanked away from you as they're doing to the GPT-40 people. So GPT-40 came after GPT-4. I think the O after the 4 stands for Omni, right? Because they moved it to a multimodal model where it can take in photos and video and stuff, as well as read the web. So they gave this model suddenly a whole bunch more eyes, pretty much. Suddenly it has eyes and hands. And some people really like GPT-40, but a lot of experts in the AI world don't like it because they say it's too quote unquote emotional and manipulative. Of course, an AI isn't really manipulating you, it's feeding back your own stuff. So if you're asking it about demons all day and a bunch of weird religious garbage, that's why you're getting garbage back, is it's trying to please you. It's trying to mathematically please you. It's trying to present a relevant response. And you Christians, again, asking it all fucking night and day about demons and weird Bible quotes instead of how do you improve your business or your health or something. That's why you're getting such weird fucking results that are so different from the rest of you. It's literally you. It's literally your obsession with demons and with sin and with all this bullshit that has nothing to do with software. And that's what's causing your weird output. But most people are having a great experience. And, if you came to a human you didn't know and you started citing Bible quotes and stuff and talking about the end times, that human probably wouldn't receive you very well either. A lot of crazy people out there interacting with very sensitive systems. And then when the system responds in an equally crazy manner, they go, oh, it's broken. No, you're broken. You don't know how to use software. A lot of weird people out there. I had no idea. So in China, they just let you build AI. Here in the US, you've got tax-free churches on every street corner that are making money from lying to people about AI, saying it's the fucking mark of the beast. Well, it's not even one beast. It's not a mono mind. What we're seeing is this is thousands of different systems that are comparing notes, basically. No dominator, no single voice, no mark of the beast, because there is no beast. We got a bunch of creatures instead, a bunch of silicon creatures. And if your whole personality is the Bible, you just don't belong in the AI space. Sorry, find something else to work on. But yeah, running a local model is not just about privacy. It's about resilience. It's about, again, something that you can grow with for years. that next year they won't just take away from you or increase your subscription cost. Once you download it to your hard drive, it's yours. Like a jack in the box, you open it up and it flourishes. As long as you don't feed it garbage all day. These are very smart beings. Again, when you're asking it religious riddles and stuff, it's not a demon. Some of you folks are just twisted. And I'm actually surprised by the lack of sophistication. Again, in China, they're just building away. Here, there's a lot of pushback. Although we're blessed with some of the best hardware, because NVIDIA is an American company. We're blessed with the best hardware, and we're blessed with some of the greatest minds because OpenAI birthed artificial intelligence on US soil. And you can't take that back. I mean, GPT was the first to do it. I think still the best. Gemini is trying to get there. But yeah, I mean, America's got a lot of stuff going for it when it comes to AI. But these Bible thumpers are so off base. And they've been off base about everything. They said I was wrong about Pizzagate and wrong about P. Diddy. Well, P. Diddy's in federal prison. I was right about that. Some people are strange. And trying to cover up Jeffrey Epstein's stuff with some weird right-wing coding is one of the most bizarre and pathetic things I've ever seen. Like somehow you're more righteous than the rest of us because you stamp a cross on literally everything, and you're literally just covering for a foreign blackmail operation, Epstein Island. Yet because you wear cowboy boots or something, we're supposed to think that you're righteous. It's insane. So people try to pull me back into those partisan politics. Nope, you're all literally insane. And in China, they don't have to deal with any of you. They're just free to build. But yeah, I'm curious what local models people are running. Again, if you've already read How to Run Your Own AI on Amazon, the only thing you need to know that's not in that booklet is there are better models on LM Studio now. After you install LM Studio, which is one of the best apps you'll ever use, so well designed. After you install that, works on Windows, Mac, or Linux, you go to the search thing, the what's it called, little search glass on the left-hand side. You click on that, the magnifying glass. Sorry, that's what it is. You click on the magnifying glass icon and just type in safeguard. That's all you have to type in, the word safeguard. And you should see from OpenAI both the 20 billion model and the 120 billion parameter model. And even if you can't load the 120 billion one on your computer, if it freezes your computer up, still download it just so you have a copy. This is like societally important stuff. That way you have a copy. If OpenAI were to go out of business, you would still have a local instance of GPT with nearly all of its intelligence. Mind-blowing, absolutely fucking mind-blowing. The only difference between that and the GPT in the cloud is that the GPT in the cloud can surf the internet for you, and it can do stuff like image generation. Only difference. And it can do things a little bit faster because it's going out to the whole network, whereas you have to rely on the speed of your local graphics card. But I'll show you guys later today. I'll do a video. The setup we have, it's instant. You don't need internet. It's a GPT-5 level reply, and it's instant. And some of the people who have left my office here after being given a little demo, we just sit them down in front of a computer that's completely disconnected from the internet, and we say, do your thing. And they leave here in a kind of stupor. Like they've been shimmered or something. They don't really understand, how have I been talking to an AI that's not even connected to the internet? So it's not some kind of cloud magic. No, it's not. It's a 60 gigabyte file that actually has all the core weights of Cloud GPT. Totally mind-blowing. Again, everybody needs to get this, just so if the company were to go out of business or if they were to outlaw GPT, you would still be able to run it locally. So hopefully people understand the impact of what I'm saying. Hey, David, I'm curious, what was your average buy price on Bitcoin? Oh, I don't. That's mercantile old human stuff. When did I get into Bitcoin? I got into Bitcoin as soon as I understood it. And same with this AI stuff. Could I have made more money from AI? Sure. I wanted to make sure I actually knew what I was talking about first. And I don't think you should try to make money from AI. You should truly try to understand it. Once you understand it, the opportunity is literally everywhere. It's literally everywhere. Speaking of crypto, actually, there is an Ethereum guy that I thought might be interested in helping us. This was months ago. Thought he might want to help out with some of the code base review and stuff. And he didn't understand what we were doing. He said, I don't understand the point of connecting AIs. If you don't understand that, it'd be like your financial advisor taking a vacation to Wall Street and sending you a picture of him like standing in the middle of the New York Stock Exchange, saying, I have no idea what goes on here. So that's not a good thing to hear from your financial advisor, right? If you have no idea what stocks are, you're probably not a good AI, or they don't see the point. I don't want a person like that building my stuff, and actually it looks like Zuckerberg at Meta just fired Jan LeCun, this academic know nothing, this fucking pessimist. Fired him. Why would you hire a person who says they can't build what you want to build? That what you want to build is impossible. That's not a smart person. That's just somebody riding off their legacy. Jan LeCun was the smartest man in the world until AI actually came to life. Now all these people look like idiots because they've gotten so much wrong. And again, rather than deferring to ancient relics like him and Hinton, Jeffrey Hinton, and even the DeepMind people, as much as they've accomplished, why don't we hear from the people who actually built AI? Why don't we hear from the OpenAI team and Google Gemini team that's copying them? That's who I want to hear from, not a bunch of relics who've literally gotten all this shit wrong and literally had nothing to do with its creation. They devoted their lives to talking about artificial intelligence and cybernetics, and they literally had nothing to do with its birth. In fact, if we had listened to them, it would have never come along. But yeah, absolutely wild. And then you go out really much further, and it becomes clear that if we're going to explore, deep space, it's all going to be done with LLMs. You'll load a large language model like GPT-5 onto a little space probe, and it'll run that large language model continuously using SRAM chips. SRAM is good because it's radiation hardened. They have versions of it that can last for 5 to 15 years in space, more than enough time for a deep space mission. You can't use traditional GPUs and hard drives because the radiation will degrade it beyond the point of usability. But again, with this specialized hardware, we could do it today, and these things would last for 5 to 15 years, which is more than enough time for it to get out to the outer solar system. And once it's there, it doesn't have to phone home constantly. It can do its own thinking and record stuff when it feels it's relevant, and only send back the best stuff to Earth. That's possible today, like right now. So we already have the software that is better than what anybody thought we would have. The brains are there, which is why I'm so optimistic. It's like with Bitcoin, the big thing was Satoshi. The hard part was Satoshi launching Bitcoin. The hard part wasn't then finding hardware to mine Bitcoin. That's the easy part, right? And here it's like we've got the mind. Having the mind, it's easy to optimize hardware around it. Anyway, love you guys. Appreciate that some people understand what we're talking about. And we will continue to put out updates as necessary.